Today's video is brought to you by Storyblocks. Hi guys, I'm at the beach in jeans. I know, you can make fun of me in the comments, but I have something kind of interesting to talk about today. Maybe a rant, maybe a lesson, whatever you want to take it as. But as somebody who is so fascinated with lighting and really creating a scene and creating cinematography out of a scene, there are times where I still feel like I lose hold of the most important thing, which is creating a story or conveying a certain message, all at the mercy of having to light it correctly. In the midst of lighting a scene, I feel like I began to overcomplicate scenes just because I felt like I had to have all of these crazy intricate lighting setups. Now don't get me wrong, lighting is important. Clearly, as you've seen on my channel, I love lighting. But it almost got to the point where my brain would jump in and stop me from shooting in natural light just because I felt that I had to make it legit. It felt like I had to prove something to myself that I was using all these lights and making my shot look really cool with lighting. And it kind of spiraled. So there was this realization where the reality is natural light is beautiful. Honestly, the earth does an amazing job of lighting a scene for you. When you're lighting a scene and creating a scene, you try to make it look as natural as it does in your day-to-day life in a way. So it's 100% possible to get a spectacular image with just you, your camera, and manipulating any of the given existing light. When I first started with photography, I couldn't afford any external lighting whatsoever. So I was forced to use whatever existing natural light was given to me and use that to my advantage. And some of those shots are some of my most prideful pieces of work, whether it be photo or video. So aside from this video just being a rant, a life story, and me telling you not to overcomplicate your lighting setups, I also want to share with you some techniques that I use while shooting with just natural lighting, still to get a little bit better of an image or get a really nice, pleasing image out of my shots. So, a little story time. Sarah and I are in Florida. How did we get here? Well, we decided to go see her family since she hasn't seen her family and I haven't seen her family in over a year. So we packed up, we got in the car and we drove down the East Coast from Vermont all the way down to Florida where we are now, and I'm filming at the beach for that sole reason. But we decided to go watch the sunset on the Gulf Coast of Florida because it looks beautiful over the ocean, and I wanted to do so without making it such a huge production. I didn't want to bring lights and diffusers and reflectors and all of that. I just wanted it to be myself, her, and my camera, and just shoot with whatever existing light was there. And if I'm being honest, I absolutely loved everything that I got. Like, it's some of my favorite stuff, and I just shot with natural light, which we're gonna get to, but just disclaimer, I guess, there. I loved it. So I'm just gonna play back a handful of my favorite shots and talk about some techniques that I used as I'm utilizing them. The first tip being time of day. That is super crucial to using natural light. If you're shooting at midday, you're gonna have a lot of like harsh shadows, raccoon eyes, some like cheekbone shadows and stuff like that. But if you're shooting at later or earlier times of the day when the sun is lower in the sky, it's gonna cast a little bit softer, warmer, more pleasing quality of light. And if it works for your project to be shooting at these later or earlier hours of the day, go for it. Definitely try to change your schedule to where you're shooting at the lower light sun times of day. And in this case, for our project, we were watching the sunset. It worked perfect with the story to be shooting at golden hour and twilight just as the sun is setting. There's light direction. Now, instead of moving our lights around, we're gonna still treat the sun or the bright part of the sky as our key light, and instead we're just gonna maneuver our subject or whatever we're shooting instead of maneuvering the light. And we're still gonna utilize what we talk about a lot, and that's that upstage lighting or that far side key. So you still wanna shoot into the shadow side of your subject, and that way you're gonna get that nice roll off, a nice kiss of light across your subject, giving you some nice, beautiful depth and contrast. And since shooting at sunset at the beach isn't always the easiest thing to do, that brings up today's sponsor, which is Storyblocks. Storyblocks has a wide array of not only just sunset or sunrise beach shots, but an extremely diverse amount of any kind of stock footage that is gonna fit your project. I mean, sunset, interior, exterior, daylight, interior, exterior, all of these insane combinations, and on top of that you get unlimited downloads. And it's not only stock video that you get to choose from, there's also graphics, text, animation, even sound design. You can get music and you can get sound effects and all of that. So with that being said, it's a lot easier to just go to their site and check things out. And with all of these assets being royalty free for all of your projects, on top of the subscriptions being a very affordable rate, Storyblocks is a great choice for all of your content creating needs. I'm gonna leave a link down below that'll bring you directly to Storyblocks and their website to check them out directly. But let's go ahead and get back to our lesson today, which is natural lighting. So we know to backlight everything, or almost everything. And when I say backlight, I don't mean having the sun directly behind your subject, but more so on the back half. If you drew a 180 line from your subject, it's gonna fall on the back half of your subject. So that way you're gonna get that nice roll off and that nice contrast and shadow across your subject that we always talk about. The one thing most all of these shots have in common is that I'm shooting into the shadow side of Sarah, or Sarah's shooting into the shadow side of me, because she's coming to be quite the DP, I'm not gonna lie. She doesn't know I'm saying this right now, but let's give her a round of applause. But they all shoot into the shadows, and that's giving us that nice roll off of sun around our faces, around whatever we're holding, and everything in the frame is having that really nice contrast. And if you want to increase or decrease the contrast on your subject, I know I didn't use any modifiers or anything like that, but you can take in like a negative fill disc, or even add bounce and fill in some of the shadows just to really control your contrast using only the sunlight. But like I said, I didn't want anything except for myself and my camera. I didn't do that personally, and I still love the look that I got. We know that we can highlight to add this nice wrap of light around our subject, but that's not our only option when it comes to backlighting. Another thing that you could do, and I love to do it very often, is silhouetting. And having the background being bright and light, and using ND, you're gonna darken your camera down so you're just a silhouette, or your subject is a silhouette and a nice outline. This does a great job of showing body expression or body manner or body language as just an outline, and it puts focus on the background while not being too distracting with your subject in the background. Like, your viewer's eyes are gonna go straight to the background, and in this case, you've got the beautiful sun setting over the water, and that's a great time to utilize this tactic of silhouetting. Now, I know the sun is an extremely hard quality of light, but something that I especially found out to be my favorite time of day to shoot is right after the sun goes below the horizon. That way you've got like that still warm in the sky, some blue coming in, and it's a very, very soft source being the sky. So it's almost like you got a really big softbox. And immediately, like, I just love the soft, smooth look to the image that it gives. And I mean, it's almost just peaceful and serene and calm and beautiful. And I don't know, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Now, I know before you say it, this definitely isn't the end all be all for natural lighting. Not everybody has the option to shoot at the later or earlier times of day. But if you break it down to the skeleton of this, and that being upstage lighting, like far side key, and instead of moving your lighting around your subject, you're moving your subject around the lighting because you cannot move the sun. But that way you get this nice roll off of lighting, or even if you're shooting in midday, and say you're shooting in the shadows and you're under the shade of something like that, the background you would want to still be backlit, because then the sun's not splashing on it crazy hot, crazy bright, and then that way, like, your subject is very dark in the shade, your background's very bright. So if you're even shooting midday, go ahead and just have it in a place where your background is still backlit. Then you still get that roll off, because remember, we're lighting spaces, not faces. It is definitely okay to not have lighting, or just to not use lighting. So I'm encouraging you this week or this month, or whenever you get the chance, to just go out, just you and your camera, and just challenge yourself. Say, what can I make that's beautiful with no lighting, and have no expectations, no strings attached? Just have fun with it and challenge yourself and see how awesome your product can come out. And if you're posting it on, say, Instagram, use the hashtag Brady's Classroom so we can all see each other's work and just make more friends and build this community a little more. But the time that most of us have been waiting for, and I apologize I couldn't do it last week, but the giveaway winners. There's 3 of them, 3 pocket lights, an MW, an MX, and an MC. Let's talk about that for a second. The first light winning an Aputure MW, Aputure's pocket waterproof light, drum roll please, Jonathan Crowe. Congratulations to you, my friend. And now we've got an Aputure MX pocket light that is going to an I'm gonna butcher it, I do it every time, it's tradition now. Alex Carrasco, I believe is the correct pronunciation. And last but not least, winning the Aperture MC light, a Mr. Will Stamp. So congratulations to all 3 of you winners. I will be sending you an email shortly to get all of your information and get these lights out to you as soon as possible. They'll be coming directly from Aperture, so hopefully they make it as prompt as they can. And for everybody else who participated, I want to thank you so much. We had an immense amount of you guys once again, so I'm so grateful. Definitely not going to be the last time that I'm giving stuff away, but that about wraps up this video. So remember, don't get discouraged with lighting scenarios like I do myself. I think everybody does. So challenge yourself, no lighting whatsoever. Just go out there, make something fun, and that about wraps up today. So have a great week. I'm gonna go play in the sand for a minute, and class dismissed. See you guys. Whoa, look at the sand. Crazy. Look at that wind. I hope this sounds good.